And hello there, guys. Sorry that I'm a little bit late with the after show this time. I have been distracted watching the Digital Circus. It's fantastic. I had no idea that this YouTube channel existed where they're actually like making full-fledged TV shows in an indie way, but like it's really good. I love the soundtrack. It's stuck in my head. But that's aside from the point. I have an announcement that I got to start today off with, which is very important. This will be the last after show for a while, or maybe forever. I don't know. I'm getting a little bit too busy to do the after show and make videos on the side. And then on top of that, my next few videos are going to be mostly smaller ones that are in the range for like 2-3 minutes. And I don't even know what I'm supposed to do an after show for that. Like what do I do about that, right? What after show is going to happen? Nothing, right? So I'm just scrapping it. And as a response to that, because I'm a stingy person, I'm going to be getting rid of the $3 roll. Because whenever if I'm going to charge people something, I'm going to put myself in your shoes and be like, hey, this membership program isn't worth $3 anymore. And I think you're right. It's not, if there's no after show, so we're getting rid of it. No more $3 roll. There's just going to be a $1 roll. Just $1. Because if I'm doing a Breadvestors meeting, and that's kind of it, then I think that's realistic. Sorry if that is disappointing to anybody. But with that out of the way, let's get into this after show and try and make the most of it, because there is a lot. I have several pages of notes here on things to go over, so we are definitely not short of topics today. Let's begin.
Welcome to Zora's Domain, home of the fish people and Tears of the Kingdom.
The idea for this video always was in the back of my mind. After I did Lookout Landing, I knew that the Rito was going to be coming soon, because the Rito have a fantastic geographic position for defense, but I felt like they weren't fully utilizing it. Even with the parts where they utilized their ability to climb up waterfalls and swim around rivers, that they weren't using it to their fullest. And then Draken got involved. The story behind that is that after my first video, the Lookout Landing video, I asked Draken, hey, I saw you comment on my video and that you liked it. Do you have any tips for how I could have improved it, or like what you thought about it? And she gave me like a 500-word essay on her thoughts on the defenses of Lookout Landing and what would have happened in the case of an invasion. And I'm like, whoa! This is way more than I was ready for. And at that point, she was kind of excited for this topic, and I was excited for this topic, so we decided, let's just make it together. Yeah, so that's how Draken got roped into this, and we're thinking of doing another one in the future. We'd love to do the Gerudo at some point, because she's really passionate about the Gerudo, and I'm passionate about how terrible the walls in the Gerudo town are. I think that they're abysmal, so that'll be a great topic.
Or if the Zora are fish in a barrel waiting to be shot.
There are a significant amount of TF2 sound effects that are used in this video. This is the first example where there's like shooting fish and whatever. Those are all TF2 gun sound effects. And then later on, there's also a like discretion advised warning where the TF2 sound effects return. So I used a lot of TF2 sound effects to achieve the weapon sounds. Especially what's nice about them is the chunkiness of it sounding like it's hitting flesh, which is kind of disgusting to think about, but it's true. Like, it has this chunky sound to it that makes it perfect for the example of Draken trying to pull a sword out of an enemy. It's gross, but that's the mentality I had when putting that part together.
That's because when that happens, your options are to either stop and waste time trying to force it out.
You'll also notice that Draken has this avatar that she uses, which is a dragon. She commissioned that a few years ago and has been using it ever since. My favorite one of her heads is the glasses one. I think she calls it the scholar one, where it's like at the end of her nose. That's phenomenal. She's planning on getting more of those someday, and more of the glasses ones specifically. And I had a ton of fun editing with them. It kind of makes me excited to go back to using my avatar, but my avatar isn't as high def, so I might want to try and fix that before I start using more of my Link dude in my videos.
We're going to need to first take a look at geography.
SpongeBob music. That's from SpongeBob SquarePants Employee of the Month. That coughing clip comes from a viral video a few years ago where this guy was trying to tell a story that was really nasty, and he was constantly coughing and gagging while trying to tell it because he was grossed out just by the idea of the story. Dien Bien Phu is a battle that I only know about because of my history teacher in high school. Thank you, Mr. Gavich. He told me about how the Vietnamese were able to destroy the French in that battle and kicked them out, which is what started the Vietnam War. Because with the French gone, the Americans were like, oh no, we gotta stop the domino effect and communism spreading. So thank you to my old history teacher for even letting me know that that was a battle, because that was the perfect example for this video. That blurry Squidward photo did not look nearly as blurry when I was editing with it in DaVinci Resolve. Because on DaVinci Resolve, when I'm editing, I get like a teeny little square that I see with the editing, and I just kind of assume like, oh, it looked good there, it's gonna look good on YouTube, but then when you put it on YouTube, it blows up to like this size. Dude, the water highways are just phenomenal. They're so good. It never occurred to me until making this video just like how strategically strong it is for the Kingdom of Hyrule and the Zora to work together, because they both cover each other's weaknesses. One of them has an incredibly large, strong military and is good with their castle defenses and owns the land, and the other has the highway, where they could send their forces to back up the Hylians if they're ever being attacked from the north, south, east, west. And I mean, why wouldn't you want the fish people who can go anywhere in your kingdom to be on your good side? You don't want them on your bad side, because then if they allied with another kingdom, they could easily wipe you out or cut off your access to other areas. They literally are a marriage of convenience, a political marriage, and it is so genius. I am enthralled with the water highway concept. And somebody informed me afterwards, a few people did in the comments, that there even is access through this one like tunnel to the Kakariko Village River. Whoa. That's also wild. There's access everywhere here, and I'm enthralled by that. I also didn't mention it in here, but I also find it really cool that there are Zora domains outside of the one that we see in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Because Yana, the green fish girl, she doesn't come from Zora's domain. In her character bio in the game, it says that she comes from another domain. Where is that? Potentially the ocean. When we were making this video, we assumed that the Zora are only a freshwater body, like only freshwater fish. They can only be in rivers, but Yana must have come from the ocean. That's the only other waterway nearby, and she works fine in the freshwater environment and the saltwater environment. That means like she can exist in the ocean and the freshwater. So I think Zora can use the ocean as well if they really wanted to. Great. Wow. World building. You know, some people complain that Tears of the Kingdom didn't have world building. There's world building in here, okay? It's not on the stuff you're thinking of, but it exists. Sometimes I worry that my memes go too fast. This was one of those examples, but I usually want to make sure that my memes like line up with my dialogue, because it makes it punchier and visually appealing. And for me, I think visual appeal matters just as much as seeing the joke, because I like things to flow well. That's unfortunate though, because it means that a lot of people had to pause that video and go back to see that meme. Literally, if you look at the audience retention time at that exact moment of the video, there's a little spike of like 8% on the timeline, because people had to go back and look at the meme. So maybe I'll try and make it slower next time, but it's tough. It's a tough knock life. Oh, other thing that's really cool about the bows in the game is that Zora bows are, in Breath of the Wild, made of silver. They're literally called silver bows, and or silver spears, or silver shield. I actually don't know what they call the shield. It might be just a Zora shield, but that all their items are assumed to be made of silver. Hence their look. It's not just metal or steel. It's silver, and that makes a lot of sense since silver is rust-proof. But still doesn't make a lot of sense as a bow. You're not going to be able to pull that back. That is impossible. That is a decoration. It should be. Those bows are not functional.
Zora shields, like their weapons, are also extremely decorative.
Take a drink of something non-alcoholic every time I say the word also. I use the word also a lot in this video. That was not good. Draken uses that word quite a lot as well. And it's just a really easy word to use when you want to flow your comments from one thought to another. And I need to be better at not doing that, because that's lazy. That's lazy, and we don't like laziness here. In the negative comments section, I use a song from Matt Pat's notorious Link is Dead theory video. And I like going back and watching that video a lot, especially now that it's Halloween. It's a perfect video for that. And man, it's a groove. It's a groove. There's actually 2 different songs from that video that I ended up using. If you ever have seen the Link is Dead theory video, maybe you recognize them, but we're like, where have I heard that before? That's why you recognized it. Fun fact, if you ever need to slow down a video and look at things closer, you can actually go frame by frame on YouTube. Why am I ripping it? You don't need to see that, but you can go frame by frame on YouTube to see something frame by frame. Hence the word frame by frame. You just use the arrow keys, the left and right bracket arrow keys. Yeah, it's on the screen. You see what I'm talking about.
They only have 2 escape routes available, and both of them can be cut off with just a little bit of foresight.
One thing that Draken believed, but I never really got elaboration on, is how to blockade the Zora. She always said, like, it'd be pretty easy, right? But I never really got her thoughts on how to do that exactly. I presume she means just placing some monsters on the rivers so that monsters can't go up and down, but your guess is as good as mine. I actually don't know exactly how you would blockade the Zora. I think there's a good chance they could just jump over a blockade, because Sidon can jump pretty high out of the river in Breath of the Wild, so kind of a food for thought thing.
We actually got to start talking about the forces of the Rito and the monsters. The Rito being the water people with the strength of going up rivers and such.
Okay, that was supposed to be the word Zora, but I had just finished, I think a day before, recording something for the Rito video on Draken's channel. Unfortunately, not a lot of people got to the end and noticed that there was a collaboration, so they just thought I was crazy and didn't realize that it's because I was doing a collaboration where we were talking about the Rito. Oh well. Oh well. One thing that I wish I had talked about is that the Zora actually have adjusted a lot of their spears so that they have these Lizalfos horns on them. That would have been a good thing to mention, because it does change their weapons a lot and their functionality. It also proves that they have been going out and fighting monsters. Good stuff to think about.
But maybe the situation has gotten better.
Things only got worse from there. Zora were able to dispose of the Lino, but it is a small victory in the grand scheme of things.
Deku nuts.
The Deku Nut joke was an afterthought. Originally, Draken talked through that whole thing, but as I was organizing the video, I realized it would be kind of funny if we added a back and forth right there with the Deku Nut thing, so she had no idea that was going to happen, and I squeezed that joke in without her permission. She didn't mind, I don't think. Fun fact, I've never killed a Gleeok. As of this video, I've never done it. I've died to a Gleeok a lot of times for the sake of getting footage, never killed one. I'm saving that for a rainy day. Maybe I'll do it for a live stream.
Zora's position has become much more dire than Sidon or Dorfan would care to admit.
The intro to this battle was just chef's kiss. The music there is from newer Super Mario Bros. Wii, which is a hack for the Wii version of New Super Mario Bros. And oh my gosh. That song is so good. It's from the final boss battle with Bowser in that game. And the team just nailed it. I think it's an original composition too. They call that song Bridge Bowser because it plays as you're approaching the bridge to Bowser. Like it's the pre-final battle, which is it's just gets at your heartstrings. It tugs you a little bit into this like thrill of like, wow, the battle's happening. When I say that the Gleeoks are off the table, I literally take them off the table. Keen viewers will notice that I added a Korok to the bottom left of the whiteboard partway through. Very, very late into the editing process, my good friend Swack said, while we were talking, and he was saying that I should add fish puns to this video. And I was a day away from, maybe like 2 days away from releasing the video when he said this to me. And I had this like, no, I haven't added any fish puns moment. You know, I haven't added any fish puns moment. Everybody has that, right? And I decided to squeeze one in at the very end with Sidon the Chad talking down to this little Keen dog Liz Alphos, who says, "I'm finished." You may laugh now. And then we end with the Rito, which unfortunately I don't think a lot of people actually saw. I feel bad because I should have done more to try and guide people to that video, but I was so worried about pacing and making sure that the video didn't bore people that I was like, I don't want to put like self-promotion until the end. I should have done it sooner. That was on me. That was on me. But that is the end of the video. Here's the whiteboard again. I haven't erased it yet. Still exists. Maybe I'll never erase it. Maybe I'll just sign it and turn it into a piece of art in a museum. And actually, here's that Korok I was talking about. Very good stuff. Very good. I'll probably end up using the whiteboard again in the future. I think it'd be really fun to do an analysis of the Gerudo with this. Because, I mean, with the Gerudo, it's just a square, and then enemies come in from all directions. What else do you need to do? And before we go, one cool thing I'd like to show off is that I recently, I'm gonna just grab the camera, I recently did some work with my display area here, and it's a little bit cluttered because I have my markers here, right? But I recently did stuff to organize my coins. I actually have like a little coin holder here. It's just a wooden block with 2 notches in it, so I can have my coins on display. Really cool. I mean, this isn't everything, but it's a few of the cool ones. Like, I have a Roman era bronze coin I just got. This is my new oldest coin in my collection. You probably can't see that very well, but it is of Magnamentus from the Roman Empire. And it's a double centenalis, which means it's like 2 cents. Unfortunately, this guy was only in for 3 years, though, because he promptly died. I think it was assassination? I'm not entirely sure. So, cool stuff. That's 1,500 years old. No, 1,800 years old? Yeah, very old stuff. Very cool. So I just wanted to show that off. Not particularly helpful for the rest of the video, but I mean, if this is gonna be the last after show, then I might as well add something extra. It's like a little booby prize. So yeah. Anyways, that's all that I have for you today. Thank you for coming to this final episode of the after show, and until I see you next time, have fun. Storm of the castle.